Hello and welcome to Awake and Lippy live weekly talk show episode number 8. Can't believe we're on episode number 8 already. So how are you doing? How was your last week? Things are changing again in the world. It's like every time I come here and do another episode on a Wednesday, it feels like so much has happened, so much has changed. So we're going to really look at change today and how to start creating the new. So we've got a really inspiring, empowering episode for you tonight. I'm going to bring on my lovely guest, who I'll introduce you to in a little while. And I'll also have MP Grant, my husband, for a little quick chit chat afterwards. And I say quick because I know we say 15 minutes every time and we go on, but this week is very much going to be 15 minutes. We're going to wrap this show and have it more, condensed for you tonight. So how are you doing? And just checking in with yourselves again. I like to just take a little weekly time to just check in, see how you're feeling. And this is what I do for myself. Invite you to do the same and just take a breather, right? Even as you're watching here, watching the replay, just taking a breather and just giving yourself a moment to catch up with all the changes. So as you do that, I'm going to bring in a little channeled message in a little while to assist you and to assist us, because there is a lot, I'm finding that there is a lot of ups and downs, right? So let me know how you're feeling on this. There's a lot of I've mentioned this before on other episodes, there's a lot of an emotional roller coaster at the moment. So again, I've had times when I felt really like lit up and magical and creative and wanting to do all the things. And then other times where I've just had to switch the world off and I just want to get off. And I've just switched off and just, not wanting to plug into what's going on out there, because there's a lot. And also I've been doing, it's really interesting, I've been doing a lot of I launched this week, can't remember, laser focused channel sessions. So I've been offering one-to-one sessions with the channeling and offering guidance to people, very specific. And there have just been a lot of messages coming through around changes and being ready, and a lot of you are feeling called into moving to a higher consciousness and called into making a lot of changes in your life. So this is what we want to maybe just tap into in a moment and bring in a couple of messages around that, because this is where it gets tricky, because we're trying to hang on to the old ways of living, right? And what we're actually being called to do amongst this chaos, craziness in the world, is to really create the new. And when I say that, I genuinely mean, like, we are here to help create the new. And one of the analogies I always like to use when I'm talking about this, because it makes sense to me, I'm quite a visual person, is that it's like, I shared it last year again, and it's like imagine the world right now, what we're going through. And it's like, there's a building, we're all in this building, and it's on this beautiful plot of land. And imagining like there's like a big kind of thing coming in, and it's just like a wrecking ball just coming in and clearing out the space, right? So it's like knocking this building down. There's dust everywhere, there's craziness and chaos everywhere, and it looks horrendous, right? So you're on this site going, this isn't my beautiful piece of land that I want to create, this is like horrendous building site. And actually what it's doing is it's clearing out like all the crap. And this is what we're experiencing right now in humanity, is that we're looking at things we don't like. We're seeing these, policies and procedures and programs and all sorts of crap, right, coming in that we don't like. And it's freaking us out. We're all getting really like in the chaos. But actually, if we can take a step back and realize that, right, we're clearing this away, because what we get to do once we clear it all away, we've got this beautiful piece of land, and then we can build the dream house on this plot of land. So this is what we're going to do. So today, when I bring on our guests, we're going to talk about releasing the outdated programs and to live well, because that is what I think sometimes in the midst of all this chaos, we need to keep our eyes on the vision of what we are actually doing. And this is what helps me get through, because sometimes it can feel really chaotic, right? So let me know if you're watching now or on the replay, whenever you're watching later, like, do you feel this chaos? And How does it feel to just, ask yourself if you can just hold the vision of something else bigger that is happening? Because I find that's what's really, really, really helping me. So do say hello as you're watching, and feel free to comment again, as always. And for those of you, by the way, before I just launch into the rest of it, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Marie Fleming Grant, and I'm founder of the Awake Revolution. And I'm all about helping you drop the baggage, wake up the real you, and really revolutionize how you think, feel, live, and create. That is what I'm all about. It's what I've been all about my whole life, pretty much. And especially in the last few years when I've been doing this in my work and my business. So it's my absolute pleasure to help you just shift into these different perspectives, higher perspectives, different ways of thinking, creating. And this is what's going on, in the world. So I just want to start strong with that message, because it's just a reminder that, yes, there are many things that perhaps you don't like right now, stuff happening, it's difficult, it's maybe causing you to be exhausted, and you're scratching your head, not sure what to do, you're worried about people, whatever's going on for you. It's okay. It's okay, because it's part of this ascension process, it's part of this whole entire crazy journey that we apparently chose to be a part of. All right, our souls all chose, for whatever reason, to come in and be a part of this. So thank you as well for being here. But just remembering that as we move through, not always easy, I know. So let's bring in, I'm going to bring in like a channeled message for you now as you're watching. And also this applies to you whenever you're watching this, even if it's, months ahead, months later, you can still receive this message wherever you are, in any time or space. Okay, so let's see what we want to channel. Yeah, so greetings, dear one. We, first of all, wish to acknowledge how far you've come, what you've come through, and commend you for your bravery, for your tenacity, for your resilience, even if you do not always feel like that you hold this within you. And we wish to just shine a light on you and remind you that you are holding so much strength within you, within each and every one of you, even if it does not feel like this. And we wish to speak to you briefly right now around change. So yes, many of you are being really called into making some significant and small changes in your lives. And so we want to just encourage you to open up your mind and expand the possibilities for yourselves, your families, your loved ones, whoever you are connected with, to allow those like-minded souls, some of them will be in your communities and your family, some of them you are yet to connect with, but to allow yourself the possibility of really creating massive change. And when we speak of change, we know that part of the human experience is to fear change and to worry about what this looks like, and to have some anxieties perhaps around the uncertainties, not knowing the direction you're quite taking, or even doubting the callings that you are receiving. And so we wish to communicate with you this right now, in this moment, that those callings and whisperings that you are receiving are very real. And this is a message we've been sharing a lot in many of our communications. Yeah. That these are not imaginings, these are your soul's calling, these are the callings of your soul contracts, because as you have opted to be here and be present on the earth plane through current times, you have also done so with very significant reasons. And so it is time now for you to honor your soul's calling, even if you don't quite fully understand yet how to connect with that, or how to consciously receive those callings. They are there and they are calling you. And so really the guidance for you right now, as you are tuning into this message, is to allow yourself to just take one step at a time, moment by moment, and allow yourself to go on an exploration. So rather than try and have every step laid out, is to allow yourself to just adventure, experiment, and see what happens if you take the next step, and not to be afraid to follow your desires. You have been taught most of your lives, most of you on this planet, to dismiss your desires and follow the logical side of your mind. And so what this has created is a world full of people who are putting aside their desires, living in a very small, restricted way, and not living in their full capacity as a soul in a human body, and allowing yourselves to enjoy massive soul growth. And so we wish to impart with you that as you are tuning into this message, you individually and collectively receiving these words from us right now, you are also partly receiving an activation, is to remind you that your soul is ready to expand. Your soul is limitless. Its capacity to change may shock, surprise, and delight you. You are here to do different things. You are here to live a different kind of life, because the earth is calling out for brave, courageous souls who are willing to move down this trajectory of creating the new. And so much of what you are experiencing right now is a break away from all the things that you know. And yes, this can be challenging, painful even, when you do not understand what is happening. But this is an incredible opportunity for you to break free of old ways, old outdated thinking patterns, old heavy emotional baggage, old ideas about yourself, ideas about the world around you, and starting to change your perceptions of what reality really is. And so we want to remind you right now that you are the creator of your reality. And we realize as we share this with you that this is a phrase that has been used oftentimes, but perhaps not fully understood. And sometimes it is dismissed as something whimsical. But as we share from our place outside of your time and space, we are advanced in terms of our energy, and we know that we create our realities with our energy, with our thought impulses, with our vibrations, with our frequencies. And so we wish to share with you, dear ones, that you are no different, that yes, you are in the human form, but you still have this creator ability. And this has been the thing that has been kept from you for many, many, many of your earth years. And so even though we know that you are going through challenges and hardships, we are delighted to see what is happening on the earth plane, because we know that you are on the precipice of breaking free of so many of your old programs. And so if you just hold steady and you tune within yourself and follow your guidance, be brave, dear ones, and follow your inner compass, your inner soul's callings. Even the random thoughts that feel random are not. And so we are excited for you as you receive this message. And many of you, as you are receiving this message, will feel the expansion, will feel something inside of you resonate with this message, because this is what you came here for. And so we send you so much love, and we look forward to communicating with you more as we move through this process, and helping you and assisting you with elevating yourselves, expanding yourselves, and allowing yourselves to create anything that comes to you, anything that you are dissatisfied with on the earth plane, you collectively and individually get to co-create. And finally, we wish to remind you of your own significance. Many of you doubt this when you are in the quiet of your own homes, in the quiet of your own minds. And so we wish to remind you of the fact that you are highly significant. The power that you hold within your body ripples out, and it does impact the entire human collective. And so we want to remind you with so much love of your immense, beautiful significance, that each and every one of you matter here. Every one of you has a vibrational resonance with the earth. And so it is now your time to expand into that and allow yourselves. So don't fear change. Embrace change as far as you can. It is okay if you feel sometimes worried, sometimes unsure, but step back into your knowing, step back into your soul's remembrance, in that you came here to create the new. And we can see this clearly for humanity. And so we are delighted to share this with you now. And we send you so much love. Okay. Oh, I love that was a strong one. I could feel that in my body, as I often do when I channel the beautiful Arcturians. Let me know how that felt. Let me know how that resonated with you, because those are some of the messages that have been coming up a lot in my one-to-one channel sessions. it's like a theme because so many people are, we're going through this, right? We're going through all of this, not easy. So just pop a comment below if how you received that message. What did it feel like? Let me know, because I'd love to connect with you on that and just see and just hear, because I know how these are received in my sessions. So this is a beautiful, beautiful message. I love it. All right, so that is the Arcturian message for humanity this week. That was a good old powerful one. Thank you for that. So I'm going to bring on my next guest very soon, and she can just tune in to this whole energy we've got going on. Very excited to speak with her. Yes, she's here, she's ready. So we're going to get into this whole conversation, and very much I love how the Arcturian messages often just sort of set the scene really nicely. They're so amazing. They kind of set the energy for the topic that we're going to move in, and the energy that we're tuning into. So it kind of beautifully moves into now what we're going to talk about. And it's time to release the outdated programs and live well, very defiantly, with lots of high vibration. So we're going to have a good old chit chat. So I'm just going to bring her straight on. This is Marina Jacoby, or Jacoby. I hope I've pronounced your name. I think it's Jacoby, but you can tell me right now. I'll bring you right on. And we shall, oh, how do I do this? This is not, oh, add stream. Okay, bringing on Marina right now. Hello. Welcome to Awoken Lippy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really, really well. I'm really, really well. It's actually, I call myself Marina J because my actual surname is Jacoby Leonard. And it is so long, people go, what? And they go, how'd you spell it? And honestly, after I'm almost half a century old, I'm done. I'm done with explaining it. J, and then people just go, what, J-A-Y? I go, no, just a J, that's it.
Yeah, J is good. So strong. Oh, welcome. So yeah, I didn't introduce you properly there. So just, yeah, give us a little bit of a background of, yeah, what you do, who you are.
Yes. So I essentially, I have coached in shadow work for 17 years. I'm a theta healer. I do lots of different metaphysical things. Basically help people heal deeply. So I'm often the last hope for a lot of people. I've written a book called Turn Yourself On, which is a #1 bestseller, and that's for you to self-heal. I have a podcast, and I am currently helping business owners release the narcissistic template from their businesses. So this is for people that have walked away from narcissistic abuse in their personal lives, walked away from a lot of one-sided relationships. They know they're here to make impact, but it's not gaining traction, or they know they're really good at what they do, but for some reason, it's not reciprocating. Their businesses are not reciprocating, they're not receiving. And so I'm currently helping business owners release, I call it a NARC template, right? That's my little template. Whatever they've got going on, whatever template that they've now transferred to their businesses, we want to release that. And we'll talk about, because I'm really into this whole thing. So
yeah, perfect. And I just want to say as well, because having a guest on, because I haven't had guests on most of the weeks, you're the only one that I've brought on, never spoken to you before. And it's funny because it was a very as that's unusual for me, because usually I'd connect first, but yeah, we just connected, didn't we? I think through random posts, Facebook posts, and just liked each other's energy straight away. I can't even remember now. We just connected, right? So it's just worth saying, because I just brought you on here just with a knowing of your energy, your great energy, and the topics you love to flow through. So I'm looking forward to we'll just see where the conversation goes, as always, unscripted. So yes, and I love this whole area, and it ties in very much with what you do in your business. It ties in with some of my aspects as well. So, and I think with everything going on in the world, especially the narcissistic template, right? We're seeing the red flags, right, going off in the world. So I'm sure you're totally familiar with all of that. So it's time to release the outdated programs and live well. So where should we start with that? Where do you want to go with that?
How about we start with maybe what we see is happening? And if you're watching this live, or you're watching this after it's live, just comment below, because I'll circle back as well and have a look. I'm really curious to know what you guys are thinking and what you're commenting as well. So So the way I describe it is I call them the global narcs, and the global narcs are we have different words, and obviously we want to make sure that we can keep streaming on things like Facebook and what have you. So we're not going to mention actual words, but we've got the global narcs. And really, even if we didn't grow up with narcissists or have ever had an experience with narcissistic abuse, we've grown up in it. We've grown up with big corporations saying it's all about us, it's not about you, with governments doing exactly the same. So we've kind of grown up used to our energy kind of seeping out of us, where it's all about them, it's not about us. And I call it the 80-20 template, right? It's the 80-20 rule, which is like, I'm going to give 80% out and I'm going to get 20% back. So you know that you're running a narc template if that's what's happening. For example, in your business, where maybe you are giving 80% out, but you're only going to get 20% back financially, or you give 80% support out in any interaction, but you only get 20% back, maybe from your VA, maybe from your support people. And then globally we go, well, isn't that kind of the way as well with the governments and with the way they've been dealing with stuff, where it's all about them, it's not about us. And we get blamed for things we didn't do. There's blame shifting going on. There's gaslighting going on. It's all of it. And the beautiful thing with that is, if you've walked away from narcissistic abuse, and I would say if you're a starseed, light worker, however you want to describe yourself, even if you don't want to describe yourself, who cares, right? At the end of the day, you probably have had to have that initiation of narcissistic abuse. I haven't actually met any light worker that hasn't had that experience, right? Either with a partner, husband, wife, fill in the blank. So then I feel like we've had a 20-year run that ended in 2020, where we've had to basically pass our initiations. And for a lot of us, that was narc abuse at some point, if not for all of it, right? Many of us passed it. 2019 was like the ultimate get on with it. So I always look at 2019 as the year of betrayal. But really, what is betrayal, right? It's us seeing who people really were the whole time without us making excuses for them.
Yeah.
Now we've done our training. We're like, good. Now we're the real light leaders. So we've got the global narcs at the top. They're not meant to be at the top. They're meant to be at the bottom where they belong. And we, the real light leaders, are meant to be at the top until we're all leading ourselves. And then we don't need any leaders at the top. But until that happens, we need the real light leaders at the top. And that's what I'm doing with the work I'm doing, because I've pivoted. Literally, I think a lot of us have. 2020.
Yes.
I was seeing a lot of business owners, because the majority of my clients are business owners, really, like, they're the real deal. The real deals usually have bad marketing, right? You can just tell they really don't.
I have all of that struggle. Oh my God. Yeah, totally resonate with all of that.
Totally right. But they create miracles in their sessions, right? Or miracles with the products. And yet you've got other people who are at the top. And when you watch them or you listen to them, you're just left feeling empty. There's just nothing there, because they've got great marketing, but they're actually not the real deal. Now, I call them the forerunners, right? And a lot of these people, I'm not going to name names, they've had to get healing out to the masses to lift them up. Now, I'm not calling them global narcs, because they're not at all. But now it's time for the real light leaders to step up. That's us.
Yeah.
So that's what I see. That's where I'm thinking we can start.
Yeah, that's just all you do. It's like seriously important stuff. Yeah, I love that, because I resonate with all of that. And you're right. Yeah, it's as a whatever you want to call yourself. Most of us have gone through that narcissistic, like being on the receiving end of that. So but it's trained us. Yes, it's definitely trained us. And I love what you said about the lead. What I love most about it is you're talking about the leaders now, the new leaders coming through, but it is just a guiding light, because that's how I feel about myself and my business and my messages. It's like, okay, I'm going to really ramp up the messages now, because since 2020, just something just went, just clicked, and it was like, I'm on now. It's time. It's no more hiding and having visibility issues and things. It's time. But actually, we can all do this and guide ourselves. But the leaders that are coming through now, yes, we're doing it to empower others. So you don't need the leaders. We don't even need us to lead. It's like a temporary thing, I feel. It's like, just here's the light, shining the way.
It's shining the way. We're like a bridge between 3D and 5D. And I also feel that when you're a real light leader, you just see light leaders that have yet to awaken. And so there's no hierarchy. However, there are some light workers that are more advanced than others, simply because we've done the work and we are embodied. And so we do need to be leading, and that's just how it is. Because if everybody was embodied, we wouldn't need to. Having to.
Yeah.
And that's the way of it.
Yes.
That's fine, right? 500 lives ago, that would have been me. I would have been the opposite. I've had thousands of lives. Probably you have too.
Yes,
so
exactly what I say. Yeah, I know I've had thousands, and I've said I've just reminded myself, like, if this was happening one of my lifetimes way back, I'd have been one of those people that just couldn't see it, didn't know, we didn't have a conscious awareness. So it really helps to know that, and it brings that compassion in, right? It's like all this finger pointing, and we just got to have compassion. Like, everybody's at different levels of consciousness and awareness, because the analogy that I got through, I can't remember which, last week or whatever, they were Arcturians were saying it's like being on a course. We've all signed up to this one course, but we're expecting everybody to perform in the same way. And no, some people have done this course many times before. Some people have just started. So we're all at different levels. And when we understand that, it just makes this whole crazy process a little bit easier.
I think it makes it less frustrating, because I think certainly in 2020, there was quite a few of us that were like, oh, come the fuck on. Like,
I was the same.
Hurry up. Let's just, come on, we've already waited 20 years or whatever. Let's move people. And then you just like, wait a minute, that's not how we're going to thrive. And so for me, like, I was trying to wake a lot of people up last year. I know a lot of us were. That's how a lot of me.
I was.
As well. And then I just was like, do you know what? Service isn't sacrifice. And I realized that if you're going to wake up, it's because you want to. And there's been enough out there now on the web and on Facebook, and I've given 6 months of my life to all of it. I was doing lives, I was doing courses, I was doing free stuff. It was for about 6 months. I kind of put my business to one side. I thought, no, I'm going to help the planet. And I thought, if I'm running the NOC template, now I am, because right now I'm making it all about everybody else. I'm exhausted. I was getting myself up on lives, putting posts out when I didn't want to. I thought, it doesn't matter, because the government would come out with something new and I'd be like, come on, I can feel people, let's go.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, actually, I'm going to speak to the people who are already awake and just need strengthening. My job's not to do the wake up. That's not me.
Yes.
And I think that, you can relate to that.
Totally the same. Yeah. And the same journey as well, because I had to just reach a point of like, okay, it was the right thing. I felt like I went through that process as was needed. And then it was like, I think it's time to let that go and just focus, as you said, on those people who are in that limbo stage of, they know what's happening, they just don't know what the hell, where to plug into, what to do. And so I've been focusing there. Yeah. And just saying, here I am, if you want assistance and guidance,
If you want it, I'm here. But I mean, I used to put a post out and I'd be like, wonder how many friends I'm going to lose on this one.
I lost a few, and this is okay. I send them the love anyway. But yeah,
thousands. I literally lost thousands. But really, all I lost were people I probably wasn't connecting with anyway. And I lost. I did lose some people that I thought were not so much for the close friends, but like old school friends.
Yeah,
I've spoken to for a while. But then when I look back, I'm like, well, you weren't in my life anyway, and it was always about you anyway. And nah, I haven't really. What have I lost? Because we can have different opinions, but still love each other anyway. So I kind of feel like, right now, the way I see this year, and I said this last year, I was making predictions, and it is hard to make predictions because I know all the timelines have converged. But the way I see, I've always seen 2021 is that this is going to be the hardest years for light workers, because this is the year we have to get our shit together. And by shit together, I don't mean your spiritual life, because you've done that. I don't mean your healing, because you've done that. I mean how to live well on planet Earth. I'm talking base chakra stuff, right? Yes. Money, your job or your business or your career, where you live, how you live, who you live with, like your base stuff. And for most light workers, if we're really honest, it's money. It's money, it's getting support, it's being visible, it's all of those things. And so this is the year for us to get our shit together. And then I feel like next year and the year after that, I feel is going to be much harder for the ones that have taken a certain, let's just say, thing. And that's when they're going to have their learning, shall we say. Then they're choosing to learn through experience.
Yes.
And that's my personal opinion. No one needs to agree with me, but I'm expressing myself. They're going to learn through experience, whereas for us, we're needing to learn now how to live well on this planet. And next year, I feel it's going to be very much about us getting together, like us actually meeting up, because we've been quite isolated. A lot let go of people. New ones are coming in, but it's not like it was before. We had lots and lots coming in. There's just a few that are coming in, right? So a lot of us need each other now. We'll be meeting each other, I feel, next year. But this is the year to get the shit together. And that's just what I'm seeing literally across the board. And even friends of mine, clients of mine who are millionaires, or they, you assume they've got all their money stuff together, they're going, where do I want to invest it? It's all different. What do I want to do with it? What project could I work on right now that would really help people? So whatever level you're at, it is base chakra stuff. And it's often a lot of light workers where we've avoided, because, you know, money doesn't really exist on other planets, let's face it. And then your whole, well, money wasn't created with the best intentions, so I kind of got to clean the energy and get comfortable with it and the whole thing. And now it's like, well, actually, how can I genuinely live well in 3D? How can 3D actually support me? Because I'm done doing it tough. I'm done just living from a few chakras and up, because those are fine. We don't need to worry about them. They're like, they're open, they're happy. Did you channel today? Yes. Did you download today? Yes. Did all that. But it's the physical and it's the body. So if you're not getting your shit together on the financial thing, it's going to be body, health, all of that.
Yes, definitely.
Over to Marina.
I love all of that. I love all that. Yeah, and it's what I'm seeing as well. And I love like just kind of swapping notes on it, because it's that grounded, because this comes up a lot, you know, people that are very intuitive, it's already there, but it's the grounded stuff, right? That's the stuff we weren't taught. You know, it's like we're just kind of floating through this lifetime in this 3D planet, and we haven't got the base, the foundation. And this is why I'm getting into kind of more work with that. I'm finding it's kind of flipped, whereas before it was, you know, helping people open up intuitively more. That's still happening, but I'm noticing it's the people that have got some level of intuition now are coming through and going, how do I be in my body? How do I get grounded? How do I create changes in my life in a very physical sense? And yes, it's money, it's where we're living, it's location, it's what we're eating, it's, you know, it's clearing out all the stuff in your body, because that's the thing. When you're in your like higher chakras and you're connected, which is great, sometimes there's an avoidance of being in the body. Why? Because there's so much pain and shit and crap in there and suffering. And so it's just like, maybe it's a message for anyone tuning in, you know, don't be afraid of that. It's just time. It's time to gently, or maybe more in depth.
Like a fucking sledgehammer. I'll tell you now.
Some people need it. Yeah, some people need that.
You do. It's like, I see so many light workers, and if you guys are watching this too, you might see it too. You might see it within yourself. And again, we're all at different levels. I definitely had this earlier on, where you're not embodied, right? So you spiritually get the concepts, but you're not embodying them. And that to me is shadow work. You know, if you've got the different bodies, you've got your physical body. Okay, you might go to the gym, you might have lots of sex, you know, whatever turns you on really. And then you've got, you know, your emotional body. A lot of people do physical body, they do mental body, right? Mindset, approach, business, and then they do spiritual health. I'm meditating yet again, and they're bypassing this bit. That's the emotional thing. And if you think about it, what pulls you out of your life's purpose is your emotional stuff. What pulls you out of your happiness, your high vibe, emotional stuff, right? It's actually emotional health. So if you feel scared at what the Prime Minister is going to say next week, then you find the part of you that is also scared, and you go fall in love with that part of you, so it has no power over you anymore. So then when somebody says something in Parliament, you don't get scared. It doesn't mean you're not going to have any feelings at all, but it means the outside world stops having power over you.
Yes.
That means you get to be the leader you were born to be.
Love that. Yeah, I so resonate with that. And my own personal journey was that piece, was the huge piece. So back in 2010 when I got really ill, and I was very neck up living. So I was like being a lawyer, you know, using my mind, my intellect. I was still connected, not in the way that I am now, but I had a connection of some sorts. But it was like what I did was, because I was always into the self-development piece, was yes, positivity coming out of my arse, right? Like all day, every day, whatever happened, I'd spin it around, traumas and things that happen, and just kind of go, well, I'm learning and it's soul growth, which is true. But what I didn't do was the body, the emotions. So I had a huge backlog of things from very early. And when I got ill, that was the thing that forced me like to kind of break out of that old way and really sit. And it was very uncomfortable. I mean, it was the shadow work, right? It's the tough work that most people like to avoid. But I just want to shine a light on that to say it's okay. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill you. It's just having the courage to kind of allow yourself to go and finding help, right? Finding help from people that can help you on that journey, because that's where the juiciness is. That's where the power is. As you said, if you embody that, you don't have to be swayed, like pulled like every direction with the wind when the government announces things, because that's what's happening.
And you often feel it, don't you, on a Monday when they get announced. And that's when I was doing health for leather last year. I was like, oh, here we go. And I would do another thing. But ultimately, I can't do your ascension for you, and you can't do my ascension for you. You have to do the work. And so if you really understand how to do shadow work, it's actually a joy. There's actually a beautiful way to do it that doesn't, I see people, because it's like the new bandwagon as well. And I've been doing it for 17 years now. And I see a lot of people go, spent all Sunday with my inner child, or I spent all Sunday, with my self-saboteur. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be that hard. Like if you genuinely know how to do it, it's not meant to be brutal. Making it hard. Because, we've been made to use all the different parts of ourselves. So when you can be at peace with yourself, when you can actually quell your internal war, any external war also is not going to have power over you. And I also mean any blitzkrieg that's going up in the higher realms, because anything that you witness out there that you would classify as a war, you're also not going to get pulled out of your center. If you see an entity, or if you see something really scary, if you can fall in love with the same part of you that you find scary, repulsive, repugnant, ugly, shocking, fill in the blank, it has no power over you anymore. Doesn't mean you're not going to have feelings anymore. Doesn't mean you're not going to feel scared or angry, whatever. The difference is those feelings are not going to topple you. You're going to have inner resilience. You're going to stay centered. So you're also going to know how to come out of it, and you're also going to know how to bounce out of it quicker.
Yes, and not to avoid it, right? Because that's the thing. It's like this planet is heavy. It's this stuff that goes on down here, and we can't avoid it. And so when it comes to you, then you've got that resilience experience, even that you can cope. You can move through it and not avoid it, and embody what you need. And I love that, because it's the avoidance, I think, that it's really done a number on people. There's a whole new age spiritual movement that has deliberately been set up to just kind of deceive people and bring them out of real embodiment. I have a bee in my bonnet on that one. That's one of
so do I. Oh my God. I got really annoyed about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And I'm like, what would I call these people? And I'm like, they're just amplifiers. They'll take work like A Course in Miracles. And they will amplify it out. Right? And they might have had, say, an advertising background or something like that. He's super, super clever at putting it out. But when you actually watch them, they are not the real deal. And there are others that will do the Course of Miracles, who, when you read their stuff, you just feel depressed. And they may have even written a book around that. And I remember going, what is this person doing, telling us all that we're all depressed? Are you joking? Right. So there's a lot of people that are, but again, it's all for us to practice discernment. They couldn't do it to you, or they couldn't do it to us if we weren't on some level doing it to ourselves. On some level, where are you deceiving yourself? Where are you playing yourself? So they can't do it to you if you're not already doing it to yourself.
So true. And I see that as the good news. I really do. It's like, well, great, because then that's the bit you get to focus on, right? So we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to be afraid of what even, there's a lot of people that plugging into the government is making me feel, my loved ones are making me feel.
No one can make you feel anything.
No. And that, I know that's annoying when you're in it. I totally get that. It's the most annoying thing when you're in the feelings, like they're making me feel like this. But it's empowering to understand that they're not. It's your reaction. It's just it's your response. So this is where your power is, which I think if more people really fully embodied that, it just pulls the plug socket, doesn't it, on the fear programs. And then what can they do? We're just sovereign and embodied. Whoops.
What are you going to do? Like, you know, you can do something where you say it's all going to be forced, or you can't, you know, travel. Okay.
Yeah.
What makes you think I wanted to rejoin your society anyway? Go fuck yourself in a really lovely way. I'll see you another time.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm good. You know, you can't. Oh, okay, fine. I won't.
Yeah.
But you're not going to dictate my life. And, you know, I'm not going to give you my power because you don't want my power, right? Because you've got your own. So I'm not going to give my power away to what you might say next Monday, because that's not going to work. And if I still feel that the world is bigger than me, then I've just forgotten my power. And that's my work. My work's not to go, oh, I wish they were doing it differently out there, because then I'll feel better. I wish that they made it better so that I would feel better. It's not about that.
Yes.
Because what that does is deny you your own power, right? You are the change. You don't want what they're offering? Good. Go create your own.
Exactly.
You don't want to keep waiting? Good. Stop waiting. Start living. A friend of mine was like, great, you know, now we can, you know, we can hang out. When, you know, now a lot of this is over, and I was like, I never stopped hanging out. Sorry, I'm not going to be abiding by something. You don't own me. You don't govern over me. Govern over me. Are you joking? I wouldn't agree to that. That's what you offer. You offer me that. You show me that as an offering.
Yeah.
I'm not saying yes to it.
Yeah, totally right. This is where those of us who just don't like being told what to do are holding their own right now. Because that's the thing. It's like, I think I feel fortunate, as in, okay, gone through the development in other lifetimes, because I remember coming into the world being very small, like nursery school, and having that already going, I don't like being told, you know, teacher was saying group has to play with the bricks, group has to play with the Wendy house. And I always remember going, I'm not playing with that just because you're telling me to play with that. It makes no sense to my mind. Like, I have a choice, and I had that. So I understand when that people don't have that, but I think those of us who've come in with that knowing, we didn't have to learn that. This is why we're holding steady, and we're just holding it for maybe when other people can't, until they can. That's how I see it. It's like they are going to when they're ready.
I think too, and I'm learning from them. You know what I'm learning from them is financial stability. What I'm learning from them is owning lots of homes. So we're both, wherever you are in your development, I'm learning a lot from you. This is what I'm offering if you want to learn it from me, but I'm also offering I'm also learning how to live well on this planet, because I finally decided I'm going to do that. I'm like, well, I may as well flipping enjoy it, right? And how about, instead of me running this narc rule where I don't get very much back, but I'm just going to keep giving. How about I actually focus on receiving? And that, to me, is massive, because receiving is the feminine energy. Receiving is the feminine power. And to me, if you're really honest with yourself, you do want to live well. You actually do. And it starts with a decision. And it starts with really bucking the trend of, I'm actually going to go my own way, and I am going to, for example, charge what I'm worth, and I am going to stop my sessions on time, and I am going to create this where, instead of me creating a program where it's give, I'm going to make sure I get something back that's reciprocal. Has to be reciprocal now. I'm no longer not having equal energy exchanges, because that's what we've been conditioned to have and do. We're not doing that anymore. That's how we live well. Clearing all the programs, yes. But sometimes when you really make a decision and your desire is really strong, it actually supersedes a lot of the programs that might still be running. So yeah, you can clear them, but you know what? You might spend a lifetime doing that.
Yeah.
Start living well now. And that's what we can learn from people who are in the third dimension. We can actually learn a lot from them.
Yes, I love that. And I'm totally on board with that, because there's a lot of that as well going, I'm going to heal all my stuff and every timeline in the past and present and future timeline trajectories, but heal them all now. It's like, you might be there a long time.
I understand that, because you don't want to, you know what you need, but if we're saying we want them to learn from us, we want them to catch up, come the fuck on. Well, okay, let's turn that around and say, how can we catch up, come on, because we need to learn from them. And so if you're surrounded by people right now and you're maybe feeling very isolated because you are like the only one that's maybe thinking the way you're thinking, what can you learn from them? And maybe that is financial security. What can you learn from them? Maybe that is how to actually be very comfortable on this planet, even if you just take tidbits of it. If you can start to learn from people like that, they're also going to feel that energetically, and they might open up as well to you. You're not going to do it for those reasons, but I always look at the mirror and I'm going, okay, if you're treating me like that, how am I treating myself like that? Oh, that's right. Same, right? So you're treating me as if they've got nothing to learn from me. I'm the idiot. Wait, I'm treating myself in a very similar way, because I'm also going, well, hang on a minute. I do feel like a bit of an idiot around money, if I'm really honest. I do feel a bit of an idiot, like I don't really know about how to invest in houses or stocks and shares or be an angel investor, whatever. Actually, I'm just going to own that. And what happens is when you heal whatever they're showing you, either that person or those group of people, they just drop away or they rise up with you.
Yes.
No different to the outside world, right? So when we can use the outside world to heal and desire and use it to live well, it ceases to need to show itself to us. And to me, that is actually how we win this WAR, if it was one, which is,
Yes, definitely. And I love I'm totally on board with what you said about the decision, because I talk about that a lot, the decision and the choice, because you can still do the healing aspects. I mean, I do it simultaneously all the time. I'm always deciding, choosing, moving forward in this trajectory and creating.
Powerful, though. You're powerful.
Thank you, as a you. But at the same time, yes, you get to heal your stuff, heal everything if you want, if really go on a healing journey. Not, you don't all have to do it, but if you're called to, I very much am. I kind of love that whole, the more I up level, the more I heal something else, and I'm healing. But it doesn't have to hold you back, because sometimes I think people feel like, oh my God, the 5D is, that came up before I did a live stream in my group ages ago about it, and it was like, the 5D is going to run away without me, and I'm going to be kind of left over here. Like, this is kind of weird 5D snobbery going, well, if you're 5D, you can come over here and not feel anything, and you're happy and joyous all the time. And it's like there's choices to be made, there's healing to be done, but you don't have to slow yourself down. At the same time, you don't have to just abandon everything and avoid everything within you. So it's messy. It can be messy, gloriously messy. It's okay. And you can have some fun along the way when you do the healing. Isn't that right? It doesn't always have to be, but it doesn't have to be, like, as you said, all day, all Sunday, kind of immersing yourself in whatever it is, right?
I have spent whole days, I'm not going to lie. I've spent whole days not leaving this bed until you fucking and that's 8 hours with a huge box of tissues go, but it's not like a regular thing. I think the main thing with that, what you were saying, is I think there are so many beautiful, powerful people here that don't realize that they are the fifth dimension. We're all of it, right? We're everything. So it's nothing to catch up to. And your higher self's already there. It's just your human self that's just forgotten maybe a bit, or has just forgotten their power. So you're already there. You're already going. Your human self's going to flap around a little bit here and there. It's okay. You just have patience, and you're already there. You know?
So much goodness to look forward to. I love it. I love it.
What do you see like now? Like, what do you see this year? How do you see people? Like, what would you say would be so good for people to live well? How can people? I'm going to start the question again.
For many things.
What are your, like, if you were to look at this year? I mean, I know what I see, but like between now and the end of the year, how can we live really well?
I think it's through a conscious choice, first of all, because you can't. I'll just backtrack. The energy of this year was always going to be chaotic, the way I could see it. It was always going to be, it was never going to be a smooth sailing year. There was going to be a lot of things pulled out, rugs pulled out from under us collectively, and lots of changes, lots of things coming in that we're seeing that we don't want. So to live well at this point, with everything happening for many, is to really decide, first of all, that they no longer want to be a part of the old systems. And that for me is like the starting point. Of course, if you're more advanced on your journey, that will mean other things to you. But for a lot of people that I connect with, it's very much making a decision that you are no longer going to allow yourself to go on that trajectory of the old ways of doing it. And you're going to just, maybe you don't even know how, but the living well is I decide and I choose to allow myself to go on that journey. And then the other part of that is really starting to connecting in with the higher self. The higher self for me and the work I'm doing is coming in thick and fast with people now, and I'm loving it. Because it's time. This is the messages that keep coming through. And this is very much to do with living well. It's if you were living more in line with your higher self, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to live from that place 24/7, but connecting into that, you're automatically going to live well. It doesn't have to be like dragging yourself, kicking and screaming, right? And forcing like, how do I live well and bring like eat more vegetables and like change location. It might be those things, but it's for me, it's very much more of a connection to your higher self and the grounding, because I want to reiterate it's both those things, right? Together is so important.
You can't ascend without your body, right?
Yeah.
You can be hard to just your principles. All of you has to.
Yeah, but I think that's what I would feel about living well. I'm talking collectively in general, but it's sort of setting the scene for next year. So the next year, as you already talked about people coming together, it's going to be more community based next year. But of course, we need this inner work this year, because it's going to help you connect. So next year, there'll be a lot of us getting together and moving forwards. And if you haven't taken the time this year, as you said, to get your 3D shit together, that's where you're going to feel like, oh, I'm not moving maybe the way I'd like to, living well the way I want. Yeah.
I think receiving help. I see a lot of light workers living off free stuff. They'll scroll, they'll get free stuff. But be honest to God, if you actually work with a coach or you work with somebody, you will move really fast. And there's something about genuinely investing in yourself means you genuinely, it's like a genuine respect.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of light workers in a way not respecting themselves enough. And they might go, I don't have the money. It's like, do you know what? If you really want something, you will find a way. Or, because this is the year to get your shit together. And I don't want anybody feeling like they're going to miss out next year, because if you're not embodied genuinely, you're going to have to keep moving away from the collective to sort your stuff out.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be more community and more togetherness and more support. I think people are generally going to find that too. I'm bloody looking forward to that, right? Because I'm like, I've missed people.
Yeah.
I moved to this country in 2019. I was in Australia for 24 years. And so I don't have my network here. I miss people. Because literally we moved here within a year. We were in lockdown, so I haven't really had the chance to.
Right, you never had a chance to pick it up. Yeah, I think like even events are going to start feeling really
powerful,
right? Because I've got plans for that, definitely.
Have you?
Yeah, like really, because I did a summit in June, which I loved. And I think that might have been how we connected. I forgot now. But yeah, it was like the power of that coming together. And I definitely have visions and plans to do in person and bringing these amazing spaces and calling people in.
Coming out as well.
Yeah. And just creating these energetic spaces for people, right? So yeah, that's on the horizon in my mind next year. Don't know how yet, don't know when. Just allow it. Yeah. Very exciting. So yeah, I love all of what you said. I love all of what you shared. No surprise. so much goodness there. And is that how you see, like, how would you, if you want to just share before we wrap up, how do you feel about living well? How do you feel around that for this year?
For this year, I just think we can't wait. Can't keep waiting for the outside world to give you permission. And as much as we want it to get a bit easier out there until we start, we just have to start, because we're actually going to be the ones that will make it easier out there. Out there isn't going to make it easier, because the out there are the 3D. It's us. It's the ones that are inside. We need to be the ones outside, then creating a great outside. So it's actually us. It's waiting for us. And it is going to be a lot kinder, because the one thing I know is when I talk to light workers, star seeds, voice up, whatever, we don't hurt each other. We don't backstab each other. There's none of that stuff that we've had over the last 20 years. We don't do. And so actually it is going to feel like heaven on earth. It's going to feel much cooler and much better than we've had. And that's because we're fab.
Yes.
We're fab. We're all of us, right?
Definitely. And there's room for all of us as well. And that's what I love, the collaborative energies, right?
And doing what you're good at doing. Genuinely, each person is an absolute genius.
Yeah.
And it's actually not us generalizing anymore. It's just doing like what I can do. I'm really good at. It's very narrow. Ask me to do other stuff. Good luck. No. So it's that. And I can't wait to meet. There's so many people out there that are so amazing, so brilliant, so talented. I cannot wait just to meet with them. And it's never going to be easier to spot each other. You notice that? You can even be in a shop. And you smile, and it's a smile, and you instantly recognize each other.
Yeah, we've been seeing that in children recently, like little, like star-seed children. This has come up a lot for me recently. Just like a little beautiful girl just walked past me and my husband. We were having a coffee outside, and she just walked past, and she looked, and I looked at her. Even my husband looked at her. It was just like a recognition, and she kind of smiled. So we waved at her, and she just waved at us, like she totally, like there was a resonance there, and it was like that's happening a lot more in our little bubbers and our little young kids and babies coming in and all of that. So there's so much coming in that's amazing. So I do look forward to it. Because we're here for a reason to move through all of this and create it.
Yeah, and we're going to do it together. It's going to be a lot. It will be easy. It has been tough. It has been lonely. And oh my God, 2020, I was down some rabbit holes, man. I had to pull myself out 2 days to clean myself back up. I was like, I'm going back in. It was just awful. And so it is. I think it's just being together now so we can just really link arms and help each other out.
Yes. So I look forward to connecting with you. I'm sure we'll whatever unravels here. It was a pleasure. So thank you so much. Thank you. And just remind people, I always forget to bring this in. Where can people find you? I'm not very good at that bit.
People can find me. It's all right. It's all the 3D stuff we're not very good at. People can find me at my website, marinaj.net, or my Facebook, Marina Jacoby. You can come friend me there.
Perfect. Brilliant. So if they want to look you up. Great. Thank you so much for coming on. I love the conversation. Love to have another one at some point. Sending you so much love. And we'll talk soon. Okay. Bye. Bye. Oh, another way. Yeah. Okie dokie. All right. So I love that conversation. I told you it was going to be uplifting, inspiring, empowering. Right, I'm going to bring my partner in crime on in a minute, but we'll just go through these. Just you guys have commented, and I got very carried away, and I forgot to look. So thank you. Yes, Elisa, you came in late. Yep, was outside grounding. Well done. And you felt. I want to say I have felt so light since our session. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes. That was good. That was a powerful one. So that was my pleasure to assist you with that. I'm very glad. Yep. So Suzanne, hi Suzanne, said the Octurian message like a warm hug. Yes, wasn't it? I often replay them back because I can receive them, and sometimes I don't hold on to the info, but I could feel it was a really lovely message. So I'm going to kind of watch that back myself because that was a very good message. So Lisa, great questions. Being healthy and happy in 3D is a big concern. Yeah, and we definitely covered that. And grounding. Yep. None of these things are the essential things. It's kind of hysterical how they hold these things over our heads. Yes, absolutely. Yep, all the government stuff and all the authorities. You're not the boss of me. Exactly. That was my mantra from very small and still is. Yes. Continues to be and embodied. I keep hearing the word embodied. How do you define that? I'm not clear. It's just basically it's like, mentally you can have an idea and you can understand it intellectually, but you haven't yet fully received it in your body. You haven't felt the truth of it. So usually when there's a resonance or an embodiment, you can feel it in your actual physical body. A really good example is mentally you forgive someone. Yes, I understand that they only did this thing to me because they were limited, they were in lack, they didn't know what they knew, what they should have known or whatever. They were hurting, so they hurt me, and mentally I forgive them. But in your body, if you haven't embodied that, you can still think about it and feel upset, feel angry, feel triggered. If you'd embodied the forgiveness, you would feel that in your body and you'd feel the truth of, they really didn't know where they were, and you'd feel okay with that. That's probably the best quick example I can give you, but let me know if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So we're going to bring on my other half. we're going to have just a quick, I mean it this time, quick chit chat, just about current energies and courage and whatever else, positivity, whatever else we want to bring in. So I'm going to bring in my husband now. Where is he? I think he's here. Is he here? Are you there? Yes, you are. Ready to come on. Okay. Come on in. Welcome, episode 8.
Hi guys.
Hello, hello.
Just me again.
It's just you again.
Just,
So I don't know if you. It's so hot. I get all my channel on there.
Yes.
I talk and I exchange ideas. I get very excited on that chair. It's a lot of energy on there. I could charge you for even sitting on that chair. It's a good chair. How are you?
Just wonderful.
Yeah.
I remember when I was living in Sarasota in Florida. There was a restaurant, and above the door it said, "The best revenge is to live well."
Yes, I thought of that earlier.
I took a photo of it.
I love that expression. Yeah.
I love that expression.
Yeah.
If you take it in fun.
Yeah.
Because if you go down that road where it's all about
Revenge, yeah.
It's not going to work out for you. It's just the odds are against it. Your mindset isn't right. Your emotions aren't right. Your awareness isn't right. I think ultimately for us to do well in life, we need to have it covered with our within our innermost sanctums, because if we don't, we are going to make choices which will sabotage us at some point, sooner or later. I've seen it often. I've had it myself, and really, you can lose houses worth millions just as easily, or actually more easily than it took to get them. And so it's. I've been around a lot of people worth like literally hundreds of billions, and I've not seen a single day that they were happy. And I spent a lot of time with these people as within the profession that I had. It was a lesson. It was a really good lesson.
And this is living well, isn't it? Because it's not just we were touching on like the money being one of the things that a lot of people have to work through. But it's like it's more than that. It's you're the great example of that. You've been around very close to people with millionaires, billionaires, and it not bringing
leaders of countries,
and
presidents, royalty, really up close and personal. Traveled with them, been on the same.
Not being abundance in their
not
happiness or magic or energy.
The wherewithal, the innermost wherewithal of spoiled, angry children, and it's best if I don't go into too much more, but
the energy of it, so it's
unbelievable.
Living well is
games.
really...
Everything is games. Everything is a front, and unfortunately, I can. Look. At the end of the day, we need to be the real deal. And it's not a case of fake it until you make it. You've almost got to not want to be the person you are destined to be. You've almost got to be a reluctant participant in a way, in the sense that it isn't the be and end all. I once was in the Canary Islands, Fuerteventura, and I saw in front of me a guy with rolled up jeans, long hair, and he was on the beach by himself. There was no one for maybe 200-300 meters each way of him, left flank, right flank, and nothing. All it was just that guy and a boat, a small fishing boat, and there he was scrubbing it, cleaning. He was preparing it for maybe a paint job. That's what it looked like. And I thought, you lucky bastard. What, we're not going to be poor. Let's put it this way.
Different trajectories we're choosing. Let's put it that way.
The one that's unavoidable.
Yep.
but it will all be, it doesn't matter how many hundreds of billions, it doesn't matter. You know that that simple image is what I really want. I want, you know, no matter, you know, many house keys we get mixed up from wherever, it'll be the simplicity.
Yeah, it always comes back to that though, doesn't it? And and let's just say, it's not to say that, you know, I'm talking about this a lot more, creating massive wealth. Like I did live streams on it in my group saying I am unapologetically sharing that, and I was like, I'm here to create massive wealth.
It's no big deal.
Yeah, because it's no big deal. It's not like, let's take the taboo out of money and wealth. It's like I want to inquire as much as I can, because there's I need it for what I want to do on the planet. We need it for what we want to do on the planet. So, but it's at the same time, it's not making it mean something else. Like, and it's back to the simplicity, isn't it? It's the simple, like back to the roots of the earth. You know, even with our food, that's changing.
I remember
right?
we've eaten better when we didn't have as much money,
right,
and we, instead of going out to various places and whatever, we've just gone, right, hold on a minute, let's try some soup, let's try some fresh fish, or you know, and cut up a few things and
Chop
put it
up
together,
the things
almost as if as if we were camping or whatever. And actually the food we were eating, as well as, you know, we distill our water and whack some lemon into it, alkaline it. But sometimes the simplistic avenues we've gone down, I've eaten better when it hasn't been some sort of fancy meal.
So true.
You know, and with fancy, I used to go away months at a time, or quite long periods, and it was always, you know, I literally said I've lived a life of beans and caviar, both champagne and bottled water and so on, and you know, traveled and been in you know, private planes, even big massive Royal 747 and all this kind of stuff, boats and the like. And you know, I've eaten really well, but I came back. I remember coming back to London. I've been away in Europe and Switzerland and various, and all I wanted to do was go to, funnily enough, that cafe in northwest London we were at today.
You do love that place.
And the characters, the simplistic characters, you know. Anyway, and enjoy at the time a fry up, and I had all of these, you know, these fancy, like the other guys. It wasn't my thing, but they were eating lobster every night and all this kind of crap. And I just love the simplicity, and I hope to God I always keep that.
I think you will.
Yeah,
you
I
have
think
so far. Like
and I've been, you know, as I said, I've lived both vicariously and in reality the millionaire life, literally multi-millionaire lifestyle, and I don't think I was as bloody miserable as at that time in my life. You know, you know, some people would say, "Oh, you lucky," you know, this and that. No, I was seriously unhappy because of the whole dynamics associated with that, and so on. And you know, and as I said, I've seen so many people who aren't just multi-millionaires, but mega multi-billionaires who own countries rather, the top echelons of royalty here and there, and wouldn't want to be them for 5 minutes. Wouldn't want any of it for 5 minutes. I want that guy on the boat. I want to be doing what he's doing on that boat, scrubbing that boat and enjoying every moment of it in the sun.
But that's because you're connected. That's, if you don't mind my saying. And I will say it because it's true. But no, it is. It's because you've got big visions. I find your character interesting. Maybe why I married you. But you have big visions. And you can see, and you've got grand visions, right? And I know this, and we're going to do a lot of things in the world, a lot. But at the same time, you've got this very like rooted, grounded, simple. Like you're so happy when I just like make you a cup of tea, and you're in the garden, like digging something,
building the garden.
Hands are muddy, but it's because of the connection that you have, and that's the missing piece, I think.
Yeah,
I really do think.
Do you not think? and it might be the same with your previous guest, a very dynamic lady actually, and hopefully soon to, you know, go airborne with her stuff. But do you not feel pissed off in some ways that the things that we are going to do, the foundations, the empires, the work literally, okay, let's just say the remit being far and beyond what has been done, certainly in the main. Right now.
New structures, new systems.
Massive new structure. I can't give it away because it's, but very, very essential work.
Yeah.
Do you not feel a bit pissed off that we have to do this, or we have to get it done? We can see that it needs doing, and there will be a time where it will be a phone call. And
I don't feel pissed off. I just roll my sleeves up like this, and I want to do it. Bring it on, because that's what we're here for. And actually, if you listen to the Arcturian message at the beginning, was so, I don't want to re-listen back. It was really powerful. It was just beautiful. It was a very nice. I was
working on another novel.
But
I write a novel every 2 days.
Yeah, just a novel every couple of days. Knocks one out there. But yeah, the message there was really embracing the call, you know, and in the being in the uncertainty. I forget half of what they said because I was channeling it, but yeah, it was like not being in fear, or, you know, just really allowing yourselves to do the things you came here to do, which is what I feel. So no, I didn't. Why does it piss you off? He does a little bit.
A little bit. I'm done this cycle. I've had thousands of lifetimes. I've done all sorts. You haven't done this one. You haven't done this one with me. I've been the knight. I've been the super Second World War SOE spy and pilot. I've done all these things. I've done all sorts of stuff. Led countries, and, you know, under your hypnosis, and Trevor Hoskins and so on and so on.
That's why you're perfect for right now.
I am done now this time.
He's like, he always says, this is my last incarnation.
It is my last incarnation.
I'm not coming back.
Effing done after this. I've had enough. I've had enough. Not only have I seen things in this life, you know, but I'm done with all of it.
You don't have to incarnate
back. I
back
feel like I'm
here.
about 1 million years old.
I know.
At this point.
You don't have to incarnate back
I don't want to.
No, you don't have to.
Not going to. No one's the boss over me.
No one's the boss of me, exactly. And on that note, we are, just bring that in, that we incarnate into other places, right? This isn't the only place. So let's just do as much work as we can on here, on this place.
We've been stuck with each other for how many times did they say? I mean, over and over.
We didn't get a number. I don't think we need the number, but it's quite a while.
Untold amount of lifetimes together.
Yeah.
I think we ought to go on a galactic holiday.
After this one. Yeah.
And take our time.
We'll do that.
It's why we need to get our houses mixed, keys mixed up.
Yeah.
You know,
so we're gonna create big things and
build castles and.
Yeah. Why not? And I love that we're just stating it, because it's just how it is. And I want to extend this to you tuning in as well. Permission to create big things if that's what you feel. It doesn't all have to be huge in the world, but permission to just create whatever it is you feel, because this is why you're here. So much is needed.
A lot of people like myself, and this has been confirmed by the Arcturian high realms and high council and so on, is that some people are meant to be. Well, I've done so many things. It's not even funny. Amazing, you know. From you wouldn't even believe it, you know. But most people, 99.9999999% will not believe it, because they're not capable of.
It sounds far-fetched, doesn't it?
It does sound, you know, really and truly. You know, if I just list the first 30 things that I've been and done.
This is why you're writing 3,000 books.
You know, well, you know, and then from the New York stages to films to being running special forces teams and £30 million projects, as if it was a game of noughts and crosses, basically. All this stuff. I'm aware that all of this stuff, and 1,000 times that, has been in preparation for what is ahead. But it's almost neither here nor there how many you know, if we're a trillionaire, if we're whatever it is that they're saying I am going to be, you know, what did they say? You can add as many knots as you want.
Like that's just in terms of what we're creating. Yeah.
Well, all of my days so far have been in preparation, as have yours, by the way.
Yeah.
But I still go back to that guy with the boat, but I'm pissed off in some ways, just to reiterate or answer your question, because of it having to be done. But maybe in the process of doing various things with logistics around the world, that healing can be brought, all the very, very latest this year, sorry, maybe next year, 5 years time, 10 years time, and so on. Maybe somewhere along that journey, I will get some particular satisfaction from it.
I think you're pissed off because there might be a frustration that you're not in the thick of it right now.
Well, I'm already in my mind.
In your mind,
I can see what I'm going to do. I know where in this world and out of this world that I'm going to be operating and various other things, and underwater as well, and various other stuff. But I can see a lot of stuff that it's as if, for whatever reason, I know how to do this stuff already, and I know what it's a little bit careful. But it's okay, it's going to make an impact. But you know what? How many PhDs and professors and scientists and philosophers and psychologists and doctors and sociologists and blah, blah, blah have come onto this earth, had their tenure, and the world still isn't worth a wank. You know, it's pitiful. It's disgraceful.
True. This is where we're changing now. This is what I'm loving
why
about.
Why do I have to come back again?
Your soul.
I already had enough in the Second World War.
I'll tell you why. Because
under hypnosis, all the crap I had to go through that.
You were like,
had enough.
Me. I want to go there and do this thing with this amazing other soul that I get to connect with every single day. You jumped at it. You were loving it. You were loving the whole idea. Well, let's enjoy the next 50 years.
Dying in one of my multi-billion.
No, but we've already planned. I'm throwing Michael a 100th birthday.
Apparently, I'm not even. It's going to be about 104 or something.
Yeah. So I'm throwing you a 100th birthday, and because we're 14 years apart, it works out beautifully. Because I don't want to go to 100. I'm not really fussed. I'm not really bothered. So it works out. If you want to go a bit beyond 100 or whatever, I'll go to like my 80s, and it's beautiful. It works out beautifully. We can be like the couple in the Notebook that just hold their hands and just go. Okay, so
maybe get us brought down by gunfire trying to pull off a bank job.
Do you want to go dramatic? Yeah, maybe. I'll either want to go in my sleep drifting, or just full on dramatic, like saving
go to a rave or
55,000 lives.
See us propped into the corner there somewhere.
Many ways to go. Many ways to exit.
There's still much to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if there's been many a time I've been at a precipice, the same as you definitely had. The world hasn't got a clue what you've gone through. Oh my God! Under the circumstances you did them in, you know, they don't even have a clue. Wow. But what I'm saying is that it has to be done.
I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, well,
if you tune in to Awaken Lippy, you'll see, don't mind me saying this, you'll see the different moods and the different approaches to life that my husband here has. You know, today he's in the couldn't be fucked with any of it. Last time was a little bit just fucked up with people and their choices, and you know, it just changes, and this is okay. But we're going to enjoy the next 50 years, I hope. No?
Yeah, we will.
Enthusiasm.
We're going to shove a med bed up our asses and
and heal.
And all that crap.
Yeah, and get younger.
41 years of martial arts, pain in my body, and
release that.
All sorts of other stuff.
We'll reverse age.
All sorts of other stuff.
I'm up for that. Reverse age. We can dance at your 100th birthday party. That's my plan, without breaking a hip. And all is well. So,
well, anyway, things are going to change.
Yeah.
There's a change in the atmosphere. A lot of people, millions are going to die. Billions, two to
still
3 billion.
that topic tonight.
It's horrible, I
Yeah.
know, but I
Change is
grew up
change.
in
I know.
wars and shit. I've seen too much of it. I
Yeah.
suppose that's the problem. But
Yeah.
I knew I had that premonition, which I told you about
Yep.
at the very beginning of all this, when this pig face had these two toss pots on each side of him, trying to sell a bullshit story to the nation.
It needed to get to this point. We would look if we never got. This is what I tell myself. Maybe I don't know. I feel like it's the truth though. But if we didn't get to this uncomfortable, horrendous place that we're in, nothing would change, because humanity is just the way we're designed. We just don't make changes unless we're really pushed.
I think people were conceited and complacent and frankly lazy. How many people have given 10, 20, 30 years to their country and gone all over the place risking their lives and gone through absolute hell becoming that person in the first place? Not a lot, not too many.
Not their path though. That was not their path.
No, maybe. Well, well, a lot of people
wasn't my path.
Have opinions. Well, it was in a way.
Not really. Not
yes,
the way yours.
Was. Child protection.
Yeah, but I didn't give my life. I didn't give my life to it. I didn't.
Oh, right.
I mean, I did at the time. Like I was all in. But I'm saying I don't feel that I gave 20 years. It wasn't like that.
You haven't started.
No, I'll do it in other ways. But there's different ways, right? But this is what I feel, that it's so shit and crap. That then good, bring it on, because there are changes that we've made in our lives that we wouldn't have made if the shit in 2020 hadn't kicked in.
That is a good point, by the way. And I think you were talking about having internal work, doing the internal work first before, so that you can not only open up the drawbridge to new possibilities, which you're obviously, you haven't talked about your book yet. And,
no, not yet. Not doing it yet.
Okay.
You ready?
All right. But you need to be the real deal. You can't just sing a song, talk the talk. I've seen thousands of people doing that, and I could be blindfolded and hung upside down. And I know what I know. I can feel the resonance of it. And, I've had billionaires try to bullshit me, and it hasn't worked. But what I'm saying is if people really do get into the groove of the painful groove, that lonely road of that Garden of Gethsemane experience, or whatever way you want to put it, when they emerge from that whatever, that Rubicon, they are changed for life. It doesn't matter if they say something or don't, if they don't say something. There is an inevitability about their life, their purpose, their value, what they've got on a soul level or whatever way. There's no stopping it, and they're not going to be just talking about it, or they're going to be doing things. Whether they're going to write books, whether they're going to build, massive big projects, and whatever. They're going to belong to it. A lot of people don't use that term, and I use it all the time. Belong and be ready. And a lot of people like to talk about the end result, or living la vida loca, living well. A lot more people need to be in that zone. They need to belong. I believe that you need a certain wherewithal, a financial leverage. You need the leverage of contacts. I couldn't have done my job without there being fortunes worth of contacts in my phone, from diplomatic to various intelligence people, foreign office, and beyond. I couldn't have done the job that I did. I couldn't have, now this is something you do behind the scenes, and you build up, and that's what we need to do out there on just a mere secular level. We can't just get lucky, or, do this or do that. We really need to belong in that world,
Yeah.
and for people to be able to see us belonging in it, you know. So that's a key. That's one of the cornerstones of this, and it takes time. You don't just wake up and it's a transformation and metamorphosis.
A real lasting one that you cannot,
even if
come
you
back
don't
from.
want to do it or be that person, you can't help it. You are that person.
That's
you
why
were
I
born
love,
to be that person.
That's what my work's about. That's what I'm into, right? As I work with people, it's like to help transformations. I'm not really interested in like little habit changes, right? It's like like we'll work together, go into transformation. That's what I love.
You've clipped my wings a few times, so these habit changes, but very, very well done, I must say. Very subtly done. Yeah, I know.
Yes, as you have for me. We trick each other all the time.
I pretend I don't notice it.
Yeah, I know. I know that you do.
Got you with the red cups, though, didn't I?
I can't explain that. I'll explain that another time because I need more brain cells to explain the intricacies of that one. But we trick each other all the time into, and we know we're both doing it, but we appreciate the effort,
the skullduggery,
and the
sheer deceit of it,
and the love that goes with it to help each other grow.
Say that if you want.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about this twin flame thing another time because it's not an easy path, but it's a beautiful path as well.
It's torturous. It's wonderfully torturous.
It is. It is.
And and when the sun comes out, it's well, I'll stick around for another couple of years or so, a few years.
And then we'll have a galactic holiday. As Suzanne says, yes, we get to go somewhere else, a galactic holiday. Yay. So she's on board. Galactic holidays for everybody. Once you have completed your missions here on Earth. Very important.
We'll just do a few dry runs with maybe a private beach here and there first.
Yeah, we can live with that.
Bet you don't believe us.
Yeah. But my soul, this is what I know more about now, is like when you know more about your soul contracts and your really like some of what you really came here for. My soul came here to create massive wealth and to assist the planet and do all these different things, but it also came for like a lot of fun. So this is why, and if any of you resonate with this, my soul.
You've saved, I would say honestly, and I know people who've done it, including army guys. You've saved a lot of people committing suicide. Right.
Yeah.
So like me, you literally have saved lives. And I may have done them in a slightly different way, but you've used your expertise, your wherewithal, and your heart and soul, and you were able to bring it, girl. You literally have saved lives, and you have. Yeah,
because I don't mind going into those darker places with people.
Some of those scenes were hot. They were ready to go.
Tough. But when a soul's ready and you're here for a purpose, you're not going anywhere. So like it or not, you're here. And we always say this: when your soul is complete, then you will leave. And until then, you are here. So you may as well have a damn good time. Create what you want to create. Make your choices. Right? Step out of the little box and have a good time when you do it.
It's my Tai Chi master used to always say, smile.
Yes.
The guy's wanting to beat your face and smile at him.
It's kind of weird, but I understand it. Right, quick note on the book, and then we're going to go. This is a good one. Brilliant book of the week. It's a bit wet now because I just
it's my fault.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Let's go. So this is a brilliant book, Reality Unveiled. Right, let's see if I can hold it up properly. Can you see that? Reality. I never do that properly. Zayed Masri. Is that how you say his name? Reality Unveiled. This is such a brilliant book.
How is it spelled then?
Zayed.
Z-I-A-D and then M-A-S-R-I.
Yeah. Reality Unveiled. And this is such an excellent book, kind of ties in with some of what we've spoken of today. But if you want to really start to understand, because we talk a lot about you being the creator of your reality, right? And it is more than just like a bumper sticker or a quote. It's a universal law, right? And we don't understand this enough. If you check that book out, the books I've been sharing are all ones that I just love. But this one, I really recommend you read this if you're on this path of really wanting to get out of these old programs and step out into something new, because that's going to, what it does is it bridges the very universal spiritual laws and the very practical grounded, because that's what I feel like I'm a bridge between the two. And this guy, he's so good. He's so good at bringing this together. So he gives you like proper reasons and explanations as to how these things work. I'm probably going to reread it because I have read it a while ago.
It seems like a young man.
Yeah, he's very
obviously
he's an
old
advanced soul. Yeah, definitely. But it's such a good book if you want to really understand the proper meaning of how reality works. Reality isn't just what you see in front of you. That's not how it works. We are much more magical and expansive than that. So this is why you don't need to worry about when you hear bullshit from the governments and bullshit and things that you're seeing that you don't like. We are much more expansive than that. So check that book out, because that's going to really open up some doors, I think, for many of you. I think a lot of you are ready to receive that book. I feel very strongly on that. I feel like quite a few of you watching. So yeah, check that book out. It's a good one, and I'll probably reread it. So that concludes.
Can you read it to me?
I'll read it to you. That concludes episode number 8. 888. Yep. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching, and thank you for commenting. Really appreciate it. And if you can give it just a like or a love or whatever, just to help traction on it. And yeah, thank you for watching the replay as well. If you're tuning in, I know many of you watch it later on. So anything else?
Just be careful what you purport to manifest, because if you want to manifest the truth of you, let's say, for example, which ultimately is, I guess, what it's about for both ourselves as well as the world out there. Just be careful what you manifest. Be careful to the extent of that truth that you say you want.
Be ready.
Be ready, and belong.
Yeah,
belong to what you say, and because like systems in this world, the army, for example, they each have regiments have their selection. You will get caught out if you're not the real deal. The government as well, they're going to do all sorts of checks going back 25 years on you, and this and that. You're going to have to have psychometric tests for certain
old structures,
close protection details that are like high echelon, like world level, and so on and so on and so on. You just be careful. You put yourself forward. Make sure you are that person. You belong to everything you say, and that you're ready. You're prepared. You're in that. You're zeroed like a snipe. You're zeroed in on that timeline, and there's no change in it. You're on a trajectory, and make sure you are. That won't have an excuse later. You'll have wasted a lot of time and whatever. That's all I would say.
And I'd say, if you're choosing higher timelines and you're asking for things to change and you're really focused on it, be prepared, because this is what I've done. And I've been choosing higher timelines, and things just have a habit of moving bizarrely and quickly around you when you're on that
Once
path.
You're honest.
When you're really So just be
root
prepared.
yourself, like root to earth, the yin energy. As soon as you really, really do it, they do shift.
They do shift quickly.
What do they call it? They fold, the timeline's folded or
collapse.
Collapse.
That's a word. It's not the only word.
This is something we've been hearing recently.
Yeah, but it's just be ready for that, because your life can change. It does not have to, because we're in new energies now. This is why I keep getting the message. You are not really subject to the time the way that you were. So it does not need to take you like a long time to move now. The energies are behind you, so you can find that even the concept of time feels different. You might be noticing minutes and hours feel different. So your changes that you can go through right now can be pretty swift. So just like hold on.
They can be,
not for everyone, but just allow that.
If you're
it's exciting.
Zeroed and you're on point and you're exactly where you should be and you're fully aware of all of that.
And that's how it works, because it doesn't need to be like long and like hard. Anyway, so just be ready and
good luck, everyone. And
create.
Belong and be ready. Yeah. That's it.
Right. On that note, we wish you well. Send you love, as always. And same time next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. UK time.
What did the horse say when it came out of the fridge?
Awaken Lippy, episode 8. See you soon.